Today is one of my favorite days. I'm here with one of my dear friends, Chef Ken Dempsey. He is gonna help us figure out how to use these really pretty ornamental squashes in a delicious way. See how he's gonna cook the Cushaw squash.
All right, guys, Chef Ken Dempsey here. Today, my friend Logan from McGee Market, gorgeous day. I could not have picked a better day to make one of my favorites, especially during the winter, even though it's not winter, is winter squash soup. And today, we're gonna use the Cushaw squash. It's a nice, nutty, hard squash that's great for soup. I have already made some butter fried croutons, fried in the Amish butter that they have here at the market, with some of the bread they get in here, the whole, I think it's whole grain wheat. Cubed it up, fried it up, easy. I've got my pan started here. It's a really easy recipe. Can be made vegan. It is vegetarian as it is. Throwing some onions in there. I've got a half an onion, half of a medium-sized onion, just a rough dice. Doesn't matter how big or small, because in the end you're gonna blend this up anyway and make the really nice velvety smooth squash soup. Get a little bit of my butter, Amish butter. It's delicious, very rich. You can hear that. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. We're just gonna sweat these onions out a little bit, get them just a little soft. Should take about 45 seconds to a minute. We are not gonna season till the end because we have a lot of flavors here, and we're gonna wait until the end before we put some salt. And I like very simple in my soups. I like all the ingredients to speak for themselves, so I use just salt and pepper. You see there, I don't know if you can see, but they're starting to turn a little translucent on the edges. So now we'll put our carrots in. I've got a little bit of a different ingredient that's gonna go in as well. I don't know if you know anything about Granny Smith apples, but they're amazing in squash soup. So we're gonna let that cook down a little bit. I'm gonna let all this cook down. Now this is gonna take some time because this squash is a really hard squash. So don't be afraid to turn the heat down to a manageable level. Put a top on it with a little liquid, and I'm about to show you what I'm gonna do. Just kind of walk away, watch some of your favorite show on Netflix. Not a long show, because you don't want to forget about it and burn it. Put a little bit more butter in there. In the end, it's gonna be about 4 tablespoons of butter. I've got 1 Cushaw squash. I've got 3 carrots and a half of a medium-sized diced onion. Let me go to my secret spot where I have my water. Why am I putting water in it now? Now, if you get some brown on this soup, if you're at home, I don't really care about what the color of the soup is, but even at home when I cook, I eat with my eyes. So if you were to brown all this stuff up, put all the ingredients in there and blend it up, you would get this kind of a muddy brown color. But if you cook this stuff softly and slowly, when you blend it up, should keep this nice, beautiful yellow, orangish squash color, and it'll be nice to look at. If you eat with your eyes first, it'll taste a lot better. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. Here's the ingredient: apples. You chop these up just a little bit more. These apples, I know it looks a little weird, but it's gonna give, and it only really works with the Granny Smith, because Granny Smith is gonna give it this nice, bright flavor. Granny Smiths aren't overly sweet, but it will give you a little hint of sweetness to this really nutty, hard squash. As Gordon would say, apples in. Is that not funny? Put a little more liquid in there. I'm gonna turn this up to a high. When we open this back up, they should be nice and soft, and we'll finish it up with the other few ingredients. All right, guys, we're back. I think my soup is ready to blend. Got another surprise for you guys. If you're gonna blend, you gotta have one of these. This is the easiest contraption I've ever gotten in my kitchen. You don't have to break out the big Ninja. The only thing you have to worry about is splashing yourself. That also can be fun with 212-degree liquid on your face. All the vegetables, the onions, the carrots, the squash, everything is soft, and it's gonna be a really velvety smooth. And as soon as I get this smoothed out, I'm gonna put some coconut milk, and I'm gonna finish it with some butter. Then we're gonna top it with some green onions. Yeah, there we go. Would it have been a little faster throwing everything into a big Ninja blender? Maybe, but it would not have been as fun, and a lot more stuff to clean up. So if you're wondering why I did not use a vegetable stock or a chicken stock, I like water. It's the cheapest sauce there is in the world, and it's very, very neutral. I want all the flavors of the squash and the onions and the carrots to come through. I don't want it to be hindered by any kind of other flavors in there. And you've essentially, since you use water in the vegetables, you're making your own vegetable stock. So the other cool thing about using this blender, you can make it as smooth as you want to. You can also leave a few chunks if that's the kind of soup eater you are. I'm gonna leave this one a little chunky. All right. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Finished with a little bit of coconut milk. Any brand will do. I think what I have is a Kroger brand. And this is gonna round out all those flavors. I'm gonna throw a little salt and pepper. I really know how much salt stuff needs. I've been doing it a long time. Usually pretty spot on. But taste it. If you don't want any salt in there, if you're low sodium, if you like more salt. Here, now if you want to keep this vegan, you don't have to put any butter in there. But butter is flavor. I'm gonna take a couple of tablespoons in there. Blend it one last little time until the butter is nice and melted, nice and smooth. There's all kinds of little colors running through here, and you'll be able to see it in just a minute. You can see the colors from the carrots, you can see the colors from the pepper. Last thing to do, bowl it up. Finish it off with some green onions, some of these butter fried croutons. Literally, guys, these croutons were fried in butter. And there you have it. You have a winter squash soup made with the Cushaw squash with some butter fried croutons using the bread that is here at the market and some green onions also at the market. Everything except for the coconut milk you can get here at the market. If you make this, please post and let us know what you think about it. And that's it, guys. See you next time.
Had another great time with my buddy Ken, and having chef friends definitely has its perks, like taking the Cushaw squash and turning it into a delicious soup. Appreciate y'all watching.